Okay, let's go and work on this arm in one moment. I decided that I want to negate a little bit out of this arm, and we can then parallel that on the other side too. So we might as well just go ahead and do this now, so we have a little something to compare it to. And I thought that this would look good to almost give this like a TIE fighter feel to it. You'll see what I mean. Something like this. And I'll even do it over here too. So we've got something like that happening. And just in the short term here, what I'll do is I'll just make these into symbols. I don't need that line around it, especially if it's black. And then that gives us a chance again to kind of put in some easy things from there. For example, we could go into our little spinal column, grab out any one of these things. Right, let's just go ahead and tint it. Oops. So we could kind of put this over here. Could maybe lend itself to being some sort of gas cap. Another one would be to just play around with the negative space of this as well and see how that looks. Kind of like in there. So maybe not. Does it kind of sort of look, let's take the tinting down actually and see. So if we just kind of give the impression of some sort of mechanical pipe coming out of there, but and then we could also kind of string some wires and things like that. So I think it just becomes a lot more of an interesting shape. By the way, one thing I wanted to do was take some of these parts that we have on the inside and just go ahead and put them on the hand there. Shrink them up like crazy, right? So it just sort of looks like there's a bit more going on than there really is. And I'll just go ahead and make this into a symbol, kind of like, just type in any name. And we could put parts like this kind of up over that bit of the thumb. Something just sort of hanging off there. So all that strange detail I think actually looks kind of good. And we'll have plenty of opportunity to do that later. Let's go ahead and quickly extrude the this arm over here. So once again, what I'm going to do is grab all this stuff. So I'm just taking that off. I'm going to hit F8. We'll just call this forearm 2 and double click inside of here. I'm just going to break it all apart. And it looks like everything broke apart smoothly, so that's a good sign. And then let's go ahead and put in those blue lines. Okay, and we do want to, or maybe we want to keep it similar, so we've got to put this plate on there. That would this little part would probably actually be sticking up over here. That plane. All right, so I think I got an idea here. I'm gonna zoom in. I might need to just work on a different layer. Oops. Kind of forgot that already, that I was working on a different layer. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this little piece right here is a lot longer on that one. But you know, it's again, it's probably okay if we don't make everything perfectly symmetrical because, well, for one thing, this arm has a giant sword hanging off of it. So that alone could call for some changes to the general design. Let me just see how this plane is lining up with the hand over there. Probably got to take this in a little bit, don't I? Okay. I think that's going to come up. And then don't want that to snap. There we go. And I'm not so sure. Let's see. You know, I'll just do something like that. Okay, and then what I will do is I'll bring a cube up from right here. So, you know, not exactly what I had over there, but I think it's good enough to work with. Probably this whole thing would best be moved up over this way. And then I'll have to fill that in. And then let's just do some lines coming down from this. I'm going to work above that layer so I can put that over top there. Okay, and I'll keep that same sort of X-wing thing going on. All right, let's put everything onto one layer. So I'm just going to paste it all back into place again. Oh, I should probably do a little of that. Okay, now let's just make it all one color for the moment. Fill in the black areas. Oh, that shouldn't be black. Which means something is not closed off, which is probably that line. Okay. This plane is kind of facing off toward our lighter side. Let's go ahead and snap a line there. Yeah, I don't think anything on this side of the body is going to need to be that bright. probably stand to adjust this a little bit. And let's see. Oh, let's make this a little lighter. I should have had that selected. There we go. Oh, can't fill in that one, so that means that that's not closed off. Having trouble with my paint tools. All right, who else needs some shading? All right, the blue's officially throwing me off. Let me go ahead and set this all the way down to about 20%. And I think what I need to do is just pull back on this and see everything in just a moment. Yeah, it's probably alright. These probably wouldn't be that bright. So yeah, if you're gonna sit here and compare these two, this shape is probably needs to be a bit bigger on that side, or yeah, but that's okay. It's always something we can modify anytime we like. We can just rip it off of there and make it a bit fatter, but just trying to get an overall like look at this thing. I'm going back and forth. Yeah, it's okay. You know what we could do? We could probably get away with even stealing this. Oh, didn't want to select all that. There we go. Let's call it Arm Blade. And let's go ahead and tint it. Okay, certainly there's room to do a lot more on here, but I think it's looking alright. Something like this, if we mirrored that over there, something like this might disguise the fact that this part's a lot smaller than that one. That's probably a relatively easy fix though. Let me jump in, and I think if I just take this and move it up, in fact I could probably go all the way to right about there, and then I'll just reconnect that. Looks like this part wasn't put it together perfectly. There we go. And I think this needs to go down a little bit anyway. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit better. I was looking at this earlier. Check this out. Let's break this apart. And I'm going to make one symbol out of this. Oops, somehow I deleted it and made a symbol out of it at the same time. I'm going to move the pivot point over here. And if we want to just throw in a little extra adornment to these, you can always try something like this. Skew it up a little bit so it's those lines are kind of running a little bit more in line with each other. And then let's tint it so it starts to get some of that same shading over there. But you kind of, anyway I bend this, it doesn't really not mesh. Double negative for you there, but for some reason it just works no matter what I do almost. I feel like that works too. I wouldn't have thought that. So let's try it. Let's leave it in there. And you know what, for this one, let's either make it a little smaller so it's not conflicting with that, or we could also just bend it out, do something wild like that. In fact, there's no reason you couldn't have a bunch of these blades put together. Something like that. And also, too, we could do something similar over here. Let's move that over there. Let me zoom in just a bit. You know, obviously, if this is something that we decide that we want to keep, then we could just break this apart and really kind of make it part of the that piece. In fact, let's do that. I'm just going to break it apart, make it a new symbol, and let me just come through here and just wipe out all those lines or cut those parts off. And then I'm going to use my bright white color over there and kind of tone down that a little bit. Funny how those look like squares. These look like spikes. I guess that's just because it's... yeah, I don't know. Either way, I think it's fun on both sides. Okay, let's look at a few other things with this. What do we got to do left? I guess fix up this hand. And again, we can probably just steal this same shape that we've already created. Oops, didn't actually copy that. I don't think I actually copied that part. Maybe I did. I'm gonna distort this, so I'm just gonna, if I can, maybe I can't. Not sure why that's not working. Thought I was gonna be able to take the trusty distort tool, there we go, and just move that up like so. Okay, now we gotta do something with our mighty blade. You know, I don't want to do too many things that are that rounded in here, but this does kind of seem like I should round it off a little bit. Might be a job for a actual circle, but even what I just did, I kind of dig. All right, well, let's try this. Let's go grab a circle. just make it into a symbol for right now. And I might do that same thing down here too. And then let's go in and adjust this a bit. For some reason, it just kind of feels like it's going every which way, which I don't want. Let me just put a line through here, put a line through there. Same thing over here. And let's just... Okay, well that's my brightest green. But I think I can make it a little brighter. The real question is, do I want it to be brighter? It's kind of hard to see that that right there. So let's make this a little darker. And I'm going to take this quote-unquote thumb, whatever it is, move it down just a bit, and then I'm going to adjust this too. And I think once I throw in some of that same kind of metallic mess over here, this probably will come together. Let me go and take this color. Well, I've already sampled it, and see what it looks like on the back there. Just kind of defies reason a little bit because this is our darker side, but it might work. And actually, you know what? Last thing, let's make this a little sharper. Or let's make this a little, yeah, bring that in just a little bit. Alright, I think there's some good things happening there. Come back in another video.